Okay, so I think it's time for us to have this conversation, and I think that it's time for the UFC to try to get Muhammad Mokaev back in the UFC. He's one of the best fighters outside of the UFC right now, and there is absolutely no reason why they shouldn't try to re-sign him. Is he a troublemaker? Maybe, yeah. I mean, he does do a lot of dumb shit, leading up to fights. But I think that if they do resign him, they should put it in the contract that if he does any dumb shit, you know, that he gets penalized for it. Maybe part of his purse doesn't get paid out, or maybe they just, don't pay him a full amount if he does any dumbass shit. I think that Mohammed Mokaev gets the point now, that the UFC aren't gonna play around, and I think that Mohammed Mokaev should conduct himself as a professional without a doubt, because he is going to be in a very, very tight leash if he does get re-signed. But he's one of the best fighters in the world right now at 125. He's getting wins outside of the UFC. And if the UFC claims to be an organization that has only the best talent and only the best fighters in the world, there is no reason why Muhammad Mokaev shouldn't be in the UFC right now, in my honest opinion. Like I said, I really do think that the UFC should reconsider. Yeah, that fight against Manel Cap wasn't the best, but I think that he should definitely be in the UFC still. You know, like I said, is he a troublemaker? Yeah, he does do a lot of dumb shit. But like I said, they should definitely try to re-sign him and put something in the contract that says that if he does any dumb shit, he gets penalized for it heavily. I think that's a fair deal, in my honest opinion. But like I said, Mohammed Mokaev is one of the best fighters outside right now of the UFC. There is no reason whatsoever that the UFC don't try to reconsider, their decision and get Mohammed Mokaev back in the UFC. He should be fighting against some of the best fighters in the world, and they're for the most part are all in the UFC right now. Mohammed Mokaev being number one best flyweights in the world right now outside of the UFC, he should be in the UFC without a doubt. Fighting against Pantoja, fighting against Joshua Van, and all the other good fighters right now that are in the flyweight division. I think that the UFC should reconsider. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments.